What if I told you that the most important AI warning issued this week did not come from a tech CEO, a government regulator, or a Silicon Valley researcher? It came from the Vatican, and it is not really about AI at all. Stay until the end because I have a free gift for every one of you who watches until the end. Welcome to Brian's AI News. I am Brian, and today we are diving into a story that most tech channels are completely misreading. Pope Leo XIV just released his first encyclical, which is basically the most serious and official document a pope can publish, and artificial intelligence is woven throughout it. But when you actually read what he is saying, you realize this is not a document about technology. It is a document about power. And that distinction matters enormously for every single person watching this right now. Let us start with exactly what happened and what was actually said. Pope Leo XIV, who is the newly elected leader of the Roman Catholic Church, released his first encyclical this week. An encyclical, just so everyone is on the same page, is a formal letter sent to the entire Catholic Church and often to the broader world. These are not casual statements. Popes write encyclicals about the things they believe are the most urgent moral issues of our time. Past encyclicals have addressed war, poverty, the environment, and human dignity. They carry enormous weight, not just for the 1.2 billion Catholics worldwide, but for global political and cultural conversations. The fact that Pope Leo chose AI as the centerpiece of his very first encyclical tells you something immediately. He is signaling that this is the defining issue of our era. Now here's where it gets genuinely fascinating. The encyclical uses artificial intelligence as a lens, almost like a flashlight pointed at society. But what it is actually illuminating are three very specific and very old problems. Number one is concentrated power. The document warns that AI is accelerating a trend where enormous amounts of power are flowing into the hands of a very small number of people and institutions. Number two is the erosion of democracy. The Pope argues that AI is being used in ways that undermine democratic systems, the ability of ordinary citizens to participate in decisions that shape their lives. Number three is what he describes as a tech elite that shapes the world to its own advantage. He is not being abstract here. He is talking about specific people with specific amounts of wealth and influence who are making decisions that affect billions of people without any real accountability. This is not a document that says AI is evil or that we should stop using it. It is far more nuanced than that. It is saying that the way AI is currently being developed and deployed is recreating the same dangerous power imbalances that have caused suffering throughout human history, and we should know better by now. So why does this matter to you, sitting here watching a YouTube video about AI news? Here is the honest answer. Most of the coverage around AI focuses on capabilities. What can the new model do? How fast is it? Can it write code? Can it make images? Can it pass a medical exam? And that coverage is genuinely useful and interesting. But the Pope's encyclical is asking a completely different set of questions. Not what can AI do, but who benefits when it does it. Not how powerful is this technology, but who controls that power and who is held accountable when something goes wrong. Think about your daily life right now. The AI systems that are most present in your existence are not the ones you choose to interact with. They are the ones running in the background. The algorithm deciding what news you see. The system deciding whether your loan application gets approved. The model scanning your resume before a human ever looks at it. The content recommendation engine determining which political ideas you are exposed to most often. You did not choose those systems. You did not vote on them. You cannot appeal to them. And the people who built them are, in many cases, accountable to almost no one except their shareholders. That is the world the Pope is describing. And he is saying that AI is making it more extreme, faster than most people realize. For regular people, this translates into something very concrete. As AI becomes more embedded in healthcare, education, housing, employment, and public services, the question of who controls those AI systems becomes one of the most important political questions of our lifetime. If the answer is a handful of very wealthy tech executives with no democratic oversight, that should concern everyone, regardless of your religion, your politics, or your relationship with technology. To understand why this encyclical landed the way it did, you need a bit of context. The Catholic Church has actually been engaging seriously with AI ethics for several years now. In 2020, the Vatican signed something called the Rome Call for AI Ethics alongside Microsoft and IBM. That was already unusual, a religious institution sitting down with two of the world's largest technology companies to establish ethical guidelines for artificial intelligence. Pope Francis, Leo's predecessor, spoke about AI frequently toward the end of his papacy, particularly around the dangers of autonomous weapons and the need for AI to serve human dignity rather than replace it. But an encyclical is a significant step beyond a speech or a signed agreement. It is doctrine. It is the Church saying this is a matter of serious moral concern that demands a formal and lasting response. What makes Pope Leo's framing particularly sharp is that he is not positioning this as a future problem. He is not saying AI might become dangerous someday. He is saying the conditions he is describing, concentrated power, democratic erosion, an unaccountable tech elite, these are already here. AI is already accelerating them, and the window to address this is now, not later. It is also worth noting the timing. This encyclical arrives at a moment when several AI companies have quietly walked back their own ethics commitments. OpenAI restructured away from its original nonprofit mission. Google dissolved its external AI ethics board after significant controversy. Governments around the world, including the United States, are actively pulling back on AI regulation rather than advancing it. In that context, having the most recognizable moral authority on the planet use his first major document to address these exact concerns is genuinely significant. Observers and analysts who study the intersection of religion, ethics, and technology have noted that what is unusual about this encyclical is its diagnosis rather than its prescription. Many religious statements about technology tend to focus on what should be forbidden or what values should guide development. This document instead focuses on structural analysis. It is asking why power concentrates, how democratic institutions get weakened, and what forces make it possible for small groups to impose their preferences on large populations. That framing is much closer to how political economists and sociologists talk about AI than how most religious institutions have approached it. Experts in AI governance have pointed out that the concerns raised are consistent with what serious researchers have been warning about for years, that the race to deploy AI at scale is outpacing the development of any meaningful accountability structures. What makes the encyclical unusual is that it names a class of people as a specific problem. It is not blaming technology in the abstract. It is pointing at human choices made by humans with names and companies and bank accounts. That is a more direct critique than many secular institutions have been willing to make publicly. So what happens now, and what should you be watching for? First, expect this encyclical to show up in policy debates in ways that might surprise you. Catholic politicians and voters exist in every major democracy on earth. When the Pope makes something a moral priority, it does not stay in church. It moves into parliaments, into elections, into public discourse. AI governance suddenly has a new and very powerful voice in that conversation. Second, watch how the major tech companies respond. When the Rome Call was signed in 2020, Microsoft and IBM showed up. Will companies like OpenAI, Google, Meta, and Amazon engage with the moral framework being proposed here, or will they ignore it? Their response will tell you something about how seriously they take any external accountability at all. Third, this encyclical could strengthen the hand of AI regulators, particularly in Europe and in countries where the Church has significant cultural influence. Latin America, parts of Africa, Southern Europe. These are regions where this document will be taken seriously by people in power. And finally, for those of us who think about AI every day, this is a useful reminder that the most important questions about this technology are not technical. They are political. They are moral. They are about the kind of society we want to live in, and whether we have any real say in building it. The Pope's AI encyclical is not really about AI. It is about whether human beings remain in control of their collective future. And right now, that question does not have a clear answer. As promised, your free gift, I put together a complete PDF report of everything we covered today, key facts, expert analysis, and what to watch next. It is completely free. We are building a growing AI news community on Discord where like-minded people share insights, help each other, and stay ahead of every major AI development. Join the link in the description, grab your free PDF, and I will see you in the next one. Do not forget to subscribe to Brian's AI News so you never miss a story that matters.